The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, evening, afternoon. How are you? My name is Ron Chuckett. Welcome to the program for October 10th, 2024. 10-10, good buddy. And today we play the games of Friday, I think it's September 23rd, 1988. There are 9 days left in the season. We will have a doubleheader for you, I think, on Monday. And my hope is that we actually do a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday week this week. Imagine that. Next week. The first place Kansas City Royals are in Chicago, the Windy City. It's Brent Saberhagen and Jerry Royce. That's the game we have for you today. Everything else will be auto-played after the game is over. Jerry Royce, a good pitcher in his own right, and apparently, as we'll talk about during the ball game, one hell of a photographer. Brent Saberhagen, a 20-game winner, one of the big reasons why the Royals are in first place. They have a half-game in hand on, or a half-game lead on Minnesota, and a game in hand. So it is the Royals and the White Sox from Chicago, and I think you'll like the picture that the game uses from Comiskey Park to show you that. So that's the setup for you. The Royals control their own destiny with 9 days left. It is the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox next. As Retro Sports Network, how you doing, Mike in the Truck, presents Major League Replay 1987. Today, from Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois, it is the Chicago White Sox and the Kansas City Royals. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation replay needs. No doubleheader today, John. Follow us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Monday, I think we'll do a doubleheader. As we said, 9 days left to go in the 88 regular season campaign. The National League races are pretty much set. It's going to be Cincinnati. The Dodgers, if you didn't catch the end of our doubleheader the other day, got swept by San Diego. So it is a hard road to hoe for the Dodgers. The Mets are already there, and it's the two American League races. And so John's happy. Scotty won't watch again this year, but John's happy. All right. Jerry Royce is on the hill for the White Sox. He's making his 28th start of the year, 10-11, and the ageless Royce is 39 years old. He throws a quote-unquote fastball at 81 and is a ground ball pitcher. His 2.48 ERA, by the way, is good for second in the American League. Good for him. His last start, these are the games of September 23rd, came on the 17th. The Twins beat him 5-2. He went 5 1/3, 95 pitches, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Overall for Royce, 174 innings, 171 hits. 72 runs. The defense behind him can't be good. Only 48. Imagine that, only 48 earned runs in 174 innings. 11 homers, 39 walks, and 60 strikeouts. This will be the lineup that he will face. It'll be Gary Thurman leading off in center for Kansas City. I am doing the Royals, and so if Gary falls too far off the wagon, we'll play Willie Wilson. Kevin Seitzer at third will bat second. George Brett at third will bat first. Pat Tabler has been a good DH. He'll clean up for you. Danny Tartable and right will bat fifth. Frank White at second, batting sixth. The Raiders are rooting for the White Sox today as Bo Jackson's in left. He'll bat seventh. Bill Pecota projects to be your shortstop at eighth. And Larry Owen, who has had more at-bats than he did in real life, behind the plate, batting ninth, and Royce can get you about 6 innings. And yep, he is qualified for the ERA title with those 174 innings. Dan Pasqua is a 7 and a 4 in left as we set the White Sox defense. Lance Johnson a 3 and a 3 in center. Gallagher a 3 and a 5 in right. Martinez is a 6 at third, and not very good, a 909 fielding percentage. Ozzie Guillen a 9 at short. Steve Lyons is a psycho at second. He's a 3. Diaz a 5 at first. Carlton Fisk, one of the oldest batteries in baseball with Royce and Fisk, is a 4 and a 6 behind the plate. And Jarry is a 7 on the mound with a 974 fielding percentage. Gary Thurman steps in at 114. No homers and 2 RBI. And this big one in Chicago starts a ground ball to Guillen over to Diaz for the out. 70 degrees, clear skies, winds blowing in from left center, so from Wrigley, thereabouts in at 4. Seitzer at 321, 5 homers and 61 RBI. There's a ground ball to Diaz. He'll take it to the bag himself, and there are 2 quick outs. For George Brett, hitting .319, 24 homers, and 124 RBI. What a magnificent year. And if I didn't say it, I will, that I am controlling the Royals and the computer has the White Sox. This is game 153 for Kansas City, so 9 left including this, in game 152 for the White Sox, whose season ended shortly after it started. Chicago is 60 and 91. Kansas City has the best record in all of baseball at 92 and 60. Pitch to Brett is a ground ball right side, base hit. Gallagher will throw it in. Lyons, not a natural second baseman, can't make the play. In fact, it's his first poor play of the year. Pat Tabler is hitting .336, 3 homers and 45 RBI. 2 out, Royce deals. Tabler hits a slow bounder down to Diaz. He'll underhand it to Royce, and Jerry's there, and that will retire the side. Royals get a hit, leave on a runner, and after half an inning, Kansas City nothing. Here come the White Sox. So Brett Saberhagen has had a year and a half in 1988. You know, at this stage in his career, and you can see it with the Cy Youngs, he was a great odd-year pitcher. He won the Cy Young in 85 and will have a magnificent 89 in real life, but his even years, 86 and 88, weren't that great. That's not what's happened to the 24-year-old this year. He is 21 and 5, which leads the American League in wins. His ERA is .357. He's making his 34th of 35 starts. He is a fastball pitcher at 88 and a ground ball pitcher. His last time out was against Oakland. They beat him on the 18th, 5 days ago, 4-2. He went 8, 110 pitches, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He allowed 2 homers. He has only allowed 15 so far in the replay. A walk and 4 strikeouts. He shut out Cleveland on August 19th and then followed that up with a 12 strikeout game against the Rangers. Overall for Saberhagen, just goes to show that offense helps because his numbers don't look all that great. 254 and 2/3, 279 hits, 118 runs, 101 of them are earned. He has allowed 15 homers. He has walked 62 and struck out 172. This will be the lineup he'll face. Lance Johnson getting his Folgers tour. Leads off in center field. Dave Gallagher is in right. He'll bat second. Harold Baines, a Hall of Famer, is your DH. He'll go third. Carlton Fisk, again, 41 years old. The combined battery of Royce and Fisk is 80. Fisk cleans up behind the plate. Dan Pasqua in left will bat fifth. It's Mike Diaz. He's over from the Pirates. At first will bat sixth. Steve Lyons at second will bat seventh. Ozzie Guillen, the fresh-faced shortstop, batting eighth. And Carlos Martinez, also a late-season call-up, will bat ninth. Saberhagen can go as long as he needs to on the mound. Defensively for the Royals, Bo Jackson is in left. He's a 5 and an 8. Gary Thurman will start the game in center, but if needed, we will pull him. He is a 3 and a 2 there. Danny Tartable, a 3 and an 8 in right. Kevin Seitzer is a 6 at third. Bill Pacoda, an 8 at short. Frank White, a 7 at second. George Brett, who cares what he is at first. Larry Owen is a 7 and a 4 behind the plate. And Saberhagen, a 6 on the mound with a .942 fielding percentage. Johnson at 211 and 2 RBI. Saberhagen starts. That's a slow bounder to Pacoda on the grass over to Brett, who is a 5, and Johnson is retired on the bang banger. For Dave Gallagher at 310, 5 homers and 31 RBI. Saberhagen deals. Struck him out. A 1-2 curve fouled in the glove of Owen, and then there's 2 away. For Harold Baines, hitting .271, 12 homers and 87 RBI. I might be alone in this. I like those White Sox uniforms with the blue hat, the red brim, and that pigtail curly QC. Ground ball, left side, base hit. So Baines is on with a 2-out single. They didn't keep it very long. They went to their new uniforms at the end of the '90 season. Here's Carlton Fisk hitting .278, 18 homers and 42 RBI. In fact, they debuted him on the road in Boston the week that the Red Sox clinched the East on the Bernansky diving catch. Pitch to Fisk. Ball 4, so Baines and Fisk will reach. And here's Dan Pasqua hitting .238, 22 homers, and 69 RBI. Snap throw down to first. Did they catch Fisk napping? No. But Fisk just kind of stares down at Larry Owen going, what in the world are you doing? So 1-ball count to Pasqua. There's a base hit into center field. Thurman will pick it up. Baines doesn't have good speed. Thurman doesn't have a good arm. They're going to try to get Baines. It's a good throw to the plate, and he is safe. So Baines dove and got past it, and the White Sox are up 1-0. For Mike Diaz, as we said, over from the Pirates, hitting .211, 3 homers and 11 RBI. So a good start for Chicago and Minnesota and the the Los Angeles Raiders. Pitch to Diaz. That's into center field, and that's going to drop. So Fisk will round third. Is he going to test Thurman's arm? No, he won't, because Thurman just threw it in the infield. And just like that, it's 2-0 White Sox. Where's the regular viewer I used to have that was a White Sox fan? He'd be thrilled. Here's Steve Lyons hitting .273, 5 homers and 39 RBI. So Pasqua on second, Diaz on first, 2-0 Chi Sox. That's a slow ground ball to White on the dirt, over to Brett, and that will take care of business. However, the White Sox get 2 on 3 hits. And after 1, it's Chicago 2, Kansas City 0. So Tartable, White, and Jackson for the Royals in the second. Danny at .268, 26 homers, and 100 RBI. I can't believe what I just saw there. Yet you get the White Sox. Pitch to Tartable. Ball 4. So Danny goes to first. 1 out for Frank White. One of the big reasons why the Royals are where they are. .266, 9 homers, and 88 RBI. That's into right center, and Johnson won't be able to get it. That gets in the gap, and White is in the second with his 29th double of the year. So second and third, nobody out for Bo. And even the White Sox crowd oohs and ahs over Bo, hitting .257, 25 homers, and 63 RBI. He has struck out 141 times on the year, but right now he can give the Royals the lead. Royce deals. Struck him out. He got him on a 79-mile-an-hour fastball. That's not even a good changeup anymore. So 1 out for Pacoda, who's hitting 130, 2 triples and 7 RBI. In 183 real innings, Royce fanned 73. He is a pitch-to-contact pitcher. Pacoda swings, ground ball to Lyons. Tartable will score the throw to first, and Pacoda is retired, but the lead is now 2-1. Here's Larry Owen. Larry at 186 and 15 RBI. Runner on third, 2 out, 2-1 Chicago. There's a line drive to right that's going to drop in front of Gallagher. And White will score, and the game is tied. So the Royals punch right back. They get 2. For Gary Thurman, who's 0 for 1. Opening 9 for Royce. 41 pitches. That's not good. An inning in 2/3. 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. To third, Martinez has it, goes to Lyons for the force, and that'll do it. However, the Royals get 2 runs on 2 hits, and they'll leave a runner on. And after an inning and a half here at Comiskey Park, it's Kansas City 2, Chicago 2. So Guillen, Martinez, and Johnson to face Saberhagen here. That's more of what you expected. Where am I? Guillen, Martinez, and Johnson to face Saberhagen here in the second. Ozzie at 263. A home run and 40 RBI. Guillen drops one down. Seitzer will just grab it, and Ozzie has himself a bunt hit. Brings up Carlos Martinez, hitting .097. And that's in with, that's about it. Fly ball to right. Tartable coming in, rides a Schwinn. 1 out. So if you've been patient enough to go through this entire replay, we get the White Sox on September 23rd. And their 152nd game of the year. Here's Lance Johnson. He's 0 for 1. Saberhagen opening 9, an inning and a third. 32 pitches. 4 hits. Both the runs are earned, a walk and a strikeout. Pitch to Johnson. There goes Guillen. It was a hit and a run, and that's a single. So Johnson rips that one into center. Guillen moves on to third, and it's runners on the corners, and 1 out for Dave Gallagher, who struck out his first time up. There goes Johnson, another hit and run, and that is fouled off on the right side. Somebody who collects tickets on the Dan Ryan made that catch. 0-1 the count. There goes Johnson again, right back to Saberhagen, throws to Brett for the out. Guillen stays put. Johnson goes to second. 2 out for Harold Baines, who singled and scored his first time up. To White, over to Brett, and that will retire the side. So the White Sox threaten but do not score. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. And after 2 here at Comiskey, it is the White Sox 2, the Royals 2. So Seitzer, Brett, and Tabler in the third to face Royce. Jerry was, and probably still is, because he's still with us, an excellent photographer. Carried around, I don't know what the camera is, around a lot of the ballparks that he pitched in, and he pitched forever, including here in Chicago, and has some great shots of Comiskey from the last couple of years. Seitzer's 0 for 1. Base hit right center. That's in the gap. Gallagher couldn't even get a good jump on it. Seitzer is into second with his 32nd double of the year. So the Royals are timing Royce quite well. Here's Brett, who singled his first time up. Base hit right field. Gallagher will grab it. Seitzer rounds third and will hold. And so we'll do the don't make the first out, don't make the last out Cardinal rule on the bases. And here's Pat Tabler, who's 0 for 1. How you doing, Andrew? I can tell you as far as Hurricane Milton is concerned, you saw the damage, obviously, what happened to the Trop overnight. And thankfully, all the trucks that were there or was set up for the rescue and power crews, they got all that stuff out of there. RJL streamed last night. He did a playoff game. He's in Miami anyway. I've not heard from ID Jester, but most of the people I know, Polly and some of the others, checked in and they're fine. Phil Loopy, who was one of the curators of Lance Hafner's games, has checked in and said he is fine. Pitch to Tabler. That hit him. So Royce didn't mean to do that. And so the bases are loaded. Nobody out for Tartable, who walked and scored in the second. So bases loaded and Tartable has a grand slam on the year. Into left, Pasqua. This should score Seitzer. Pasqua has an average arm. Seitzer tags. And the Royals go up 3-2. The throw goes in the infield. 1 out for White. Frank doubled and scored in the second. Andrew says friends in Naples of his are fine. So watching last night, it looked like most of the damage, at least by where the eye wall went over, was in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area. I was surprised when I woke up this morning to see an eye wall as it exited Florida. Pitch to White, first and second where the runners are. Up the middle, Guillen. This should be 2. Lyons for 1 and Diaz for 2. So that is a 6-4-3 double play. But the Royals get 2 hits and score a run. And after 2.5, it is Kansas City 3, Chicago 2. So Fisk, Pasqua, and Diaz to face Saberhagen here in the third. Into center, Thurman, 1 out. Fisk scored, I believe he walked, and scored in the first. Dan Pasqua singled in the first and drove home a run. And so Pasqua, is that a walk? Yep, he chased a 3-2 fastball, but Owen couldn't find a handle. So it is technically, it's a strikeout and a wild pitch because Owen couldn't find it and Pasqua ran to first. So Saberhagen a bit miffed there. Here's Diaz. Mike singled home a run in the first. So Pasqua gets the reprieve from the governor. That's a ground ball and is about to be erased. Pacoda snares it. White for 1, Brett for 2. How about that? So Pacoda, an underhanded flip to White. Say what you want about Pacoda's offense. It is terrible. But his defense is pretty good. And after 3, it's Kansas City 3, Chicago 2. Andy drove past Carlton Fisk's parents' house in Charlestown. Now, there's always a big controversy on this channel about Carlton Fisk because the hospital he was born in is in Vermont. It's in Bellows Falls, Rockingham, if you will. But Fisk, despite our best efforts, makes no claim to being a Vermonter. He is a New Hampshireite. It's New Hampshireite, right? Through and through and through. And it's just a case of that's where That's where his mom just decided to give birth. Here's Bo. He struck out his first time out. Pitch to Bo. Gone. An absolute no-doubter down the line and left. And it's 4-2 on Bo's 26th of the year. That didn't quite hit the pole, and it didn't hook enough. And Bo trots around the bases. Bo would become a fan favorite when they opened up the new place next door. Never lived in... Yeah, closest hospital was Bellows Falls or Rockingham. But the birth certificate's from Vermont. And I think he and Larry Gardner are the only two Hall of Famers with birth certificates in Vermont. Bill Pecota has an RBI. He's 0 for 1. There's a base hit into left. And so Pecota's reaching. Roy's not very sharp today. Here's Larry Owen. He has an RBI single. So 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Kansas City. Left on 3. And the White Sox, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've left on 4. And my birth certificate doesn't say Vermont either. Pitch to Owen. Ground ball to Diaz. He'll go to Guillen for 1. Ozzie flips it back, and that will be a 3-6-3 double play. So, another run, this time the solo homer from Bo Jackson. And after, oh, there's 2 out. Ha ha! Pay attention, Ron. Gary Thurman's 0 for 2. Royce, 18 batters, 70 pitches, 3 2/3, 7 hits. A home run to Bo, a walk, and a strikeout. All 4 runs are earned. Now it's the opposite, Andrew tells me. The closest hospital for babies in New Hampshire. Your grandson was born in New Hampshire and lives in Vermont. At Dartmouth, pitch to Thurman. Is a ground ball to Guillen. Ozzie has it, throws to first, and now I can say, no, it's an error, and Thurman's going to reach. Ozzie's 18th error of the year, and Thurman ends up on second because Keith Olbermann's mom got plunked. I don't know why she follows me around. So Ozzie's throw goes into the stands. Oh, at Dartmouth, yep. So 2 out for Kevin Seitzer, who's 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. I was in college, so about 1990-ish, when the new Dartmouth Hitchcock Hospital opened, and remember listening on the radio to tell people not to go on that road because the new place was across the street from the old place, and they had to transfer everybody over. Pitch to Seitzer. Ground ball to Guillen. Ozzie goes to Diaz and to Seitzer. That's another error. How about that? On back-to-back plays. Seitzer's on first. Guillen has the yips. That threw Diaz off the bag. The Royals don't need any help. So runners on the corners, 2 out for George Brett, who has singled twice, and if Ozzie was the manager, he'd be benching himself right about now. Springfield. And Springfield, Vermont, by the way, was where the Simpsons movie was given a world premiere. It won a contest. So as Oprah would say, since we're in Chicago, you get an error, and you get an error, and you get an error. Brett is 2 for 2. He is singled twice. Don't drop it, Ozzie. Don't drop it. On the grass. He gone. The Royals get a run on 2 hits and 2 Ozzie Guillen errors. Ken Harrelson is apoplectic in the booth next door. It is Kansas City 4, Chicago 2. Yep. So here are the standings. John, I think, has disappeared, but if he was here, he'd see the Reds have a 5-game lead on the Dodgers and a magic number of 5. In fact, the Dodgers are closer to San Diego, in more ways than one, than they are to Cincinnati. The Mets are the only team in the East that's above 500. In the American League East, the Red Sox, thanks to their miraculous win in the last stream, still have a half-game lead on Toronto. Detroit is still in it. They're 4.5 out. They're 6 back. And in the West, a Kansas City win and an Oakland loss today would knock them out. It is Kansas City and Minnesota all the way. And along with the Red Sox, their magic numbers are 10. The Reds' magic number is 5. Steve Lyons is 0 for 1 and is glad that he didn't make 2 errors in back-to-back plays. Saberhagen starts the 4th, right back up to Brett. Over to Brett himself for the out. So Brett throws to Brett, and there's 1 out. For Ozzie Guillen, who singled his first time up. Again, if anyone has heard from I.D. Jester, please pass that along so we know he's okay. There's a ground ball to White. Frank throws it to George, and there's 2 out. So Saberhagen is settled in for Carlos Martinez, who's 0 for 1. And there's a ground ball to White. Almost hit the back of the mound. White has it on the grass over to first in time. And so the Royals are doing their job. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 5th here in Chicago. Kansas City 4, Chi Sox 2. So Tabler, Tartabull, and White to face Royce here in the 5th. Pat is 0 for 1. Pitch from Royce. There's a ground ball to Guillen. Ozzie carefully measures his throw to first. And another error! How? I've never seen anybody with 3 errors in the same game. He airmailed everybody, and Tabler just strolls to second. Ozzie Guillen's face is as red as that icon it gets on the screen when you have an error. 3 errors in 1 game? Not even the folks who run Chico's bail bonds want that on their team. My word, Tartabull has walked with the bases loaded and scored. Left field, Pasqua. Doesn't drop it. Tabler goes back. It is not 3 errors in the same inning, but back-to-back innings. He made the first 2 on back-to-back plays. Tabler's going to run on Pasqua's arm and make it. So runner on third for White, who's 1 for 2, a double and a run scored. So 2 errors on back-to-back plays in the 4th, and then the 3rd error to put the rotten cherry on the sundae here in the 5th. Pitch to White, Tabler on third, base hit into right. Gallagher will wait. Tabler scores, and the Royals go up 5-2. And here's Bo, who homered in his last at-bat, his 26th of the year. The Raiders pull out the voodoo dolls again. Pitch to Bo, and that is gone. Same bat time, same bat channel. This time a 2-run homer, and the Royals are in the process of taking the White Sox behind the woodshed. 388 feet. Bo put that in the second deck, and that'll do it for Jerry Royce. John Davis will come in to pitch. Davis is 25. Making his 31st appearance. He is 2-1. Yeah, Bo knows. Bo knows. Oh, yeah. John's ERA is a very healthy 7.76. He is 25 years old. He throws a fastball at 94. which is going to look like, 1,000 miles an hour compared to the junk that Jerry Royce was throwing a moment ago. He last pitched on the 17th against the Twins. He went 1/3 of an inning, 12 pitches and allowed a hit, and a 5-2 loss. That was 6 days ago. 58 innings, 75 hits, 52 runs, 50 earned. My nose itches, 2 homers. He has walked 51. Boy vey. And struck out 33. Yep, this is the Bo Jackson, Mike, from Tecmo Bowl. What was it? Right control, what is it, BB and down or something like that? As if Bo Jackson needed anything else to make him a legend. Bill Picota's just kind of laughing. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a single. Struck him out, and there's 2 out for Larry Owen, who's 1 for 2. He also has an RBI single. How you doing, Scotty? So 7-2 the score. Pitch to Owen. There's when Larry Owen has a multiple hit day, it is time for you to pull back the covers over your head and go back to sleep. Here's Gary Thurman, who's 0 for 3. Gary, going to finish this game. There's no reason to be using Willie Wilson at this point. Got him. So Davis fans too, but it won't matter. The Ozzie Guillen error is big, and so is the mammoth second home run for Bo Jackson, and halfway home on his 50-degree day in Burlington, Vermont. It's Kansas City 7, Chicago 2. Well, as strange as it may seem if you joined us late, the White Sox actually led in this game 2-0. Dan Pasqua with a single to score Harold Baines to make it 1-0. Mike Diaz a single to score Fisk to make it 2-0. And then the Royals have just kind of poured it on. Bill Pecota, an RBI fielder's choice to make it 2-1. Larry Owen with a surprise RBI single to score Frank White to tie the ball game. Danny Tartable, a sac fly in the third to give the Royals a 3-2 lead. Then came Bo. His 26th of the year made it 4-2. And that followed 2 Ozzie Guillen errors on back-to-back plays. Guillen booted one in the 5th. Frank White singled home Pat Tabler to make it 5-2. And then Bo just crushed one in the upper deck to make it 7-2. So Saberhagen looking for win number 22, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs both earned. Royce didn't make it out of the 5th, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, the 2 homers to Bo, a walk and a strikeout. The rest of Saberhagen's numbers, 69 pitches, 2 runs are earned, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Lance Johnson is 1 for 2. To reiterate, because we know they got people joining us in and out at all times, RJL actually stopping in. I said earlier that he was doing well. His hangover isn't from Uncle Milty, but from the Mets getting past the Phillies to go to the NLCS. Congratulations. We have not heard from Ivy Jester. Everyone I know from the community in Florida that I've heard from is okay. Pitch to Johnson. Struck him out. That's 3 for Saberhagen. A 1-2 changeup. 1 out for Gallagher. Dave is 0 for 2 with a K. Ground ball to Pecota. Over to Brett. For the out. So 2 quick out for Baines. Harold 1 for 2. A single and a run scored. Got him. So Saberhagen getting stronger as we go along here. A 1-2 change, swung on and missed, and we've played 5. No runs, no hits, no errors. Royals 7, White Sox 2. So Seitzer, Brett, and Tabler to face Davis, who can throw as many as 70 pitches. Seitzer has a double and a run scored. Into left field, back goes Pasqua to make the catch. Here's George Brett, 2 for 3. The thing about this ballpark, and for lefties, which is not Jackson, it is a big, big park. I think Harold Baines is probably not now, but when they moved into the new park, was the all-time franchise home run leader. I mean, just a huge park. Which is curious because after every home run, they would shoot off fireworks. Pitch to Brett. Popped up left side. Pasqua has it for the out. There was probably some games, especially in the late 60s, where fans in the neighborhood slept rather easily because the White Sox would win games, but they couldn't hit. Pat Tabler is 0 for 2 with a run scored. Have I heard from Herb? I've not heard from Herb Pilgrim. I thought he was up in the Tallahassee area, but I may be completely wrong on that. A friend of my dad's, his place down there suffered some flooding, some wind damage with another friend of mine from college, who's out in Colorado now. Pitch to Tabler. There's a base hit into right field. He's digging for 2. Gallagher's throwing again and is not in time, and Pat has his 25th double. Mr. Jester is not on Facebook, so you're going to have to wait for him to do that, a video. Tartable has walked, sac fly, scored, and driven in his 101st run. Runner on second's Tabler, pitched to Tartable, ball 4. For Frank White, who's 2 for 3, he has singled, doubled, driven in a run, and scored twice. Herbless's current home is Tampa. Well, I hope he's okay. I know that I saw that St. Petersburg had 16 inches of rain from Uncle Milty. But I think most of the damage during the day yesterday were the tornadoes that were spawned over Central Florida. I don't think Robert got anything in Miami, did you? Pitch to White. Runners on first and second. Fly ball to left. Pasqua moving over. And that is a souvenir. So a 2-2 count here. 2 out top the 6th. The Royals up 7-2. Trying to add on to it. Pitch to White. Popped up right side. Gallagher and Diaz. Gallagher. And that will end the inning. No runs, a hit. The Royals have left on 2. They've left on 8 overall. And after 5.5, it's the Royals 7. The White Sox 2. So Fisk, Pasqua, and Diaz to face Saberhagen here in the 6th. Pudge is 0 for 1, a walk and a run scored. Saberhagen starts the inning. Base hit left field. So Bo picks it up. Here's Pasqua. Dan is 1 for 2. He is singled, struck out, one of the 4 on Saberhagen's card today, and driven in his 70th run. A lot of wind, RJL says, but no issues near me. Yep. Milton ripped the roof. I didn't realize that that was a fabric roof on the Trop. It's not the air-supported roof that they had in Minneapolis with the Metrodome and BC Place in Vancouver. But I thought that was solid metal. Pitch to Pasqua. That's up the middle. White. Pacoda for 1. Pasqua's going to reach. They get Fisk, and there's 1 out. For Mike Diaz, who was 1 for 2. He's got a single and an RBI. That came in the 1st. If you haven't had the chance yet to change the subject for a moment, Dave Gardner had the football game of his life yesterday. Just make sure you crank the volume on it because his mic wasn't very loud. That's all I'm going to say. Pitch to Diaz. Pasqua on first. Saberhagen got him to change, so 1-2 curve. So 2 out for Lyons, who's 0 for 2. I'd imagine, where would Tampa play to start the year? Well, if that roof isn't ready, could they play at Steinbrenner Field, or would they go to Orlando? They've got till March 27th of next year to figure it out. My understanding is they open up against the Rockies. My understanding is that the new park is supposed to be in the parking lot. Yeah, how about Montreal? Oh, you meant for the Rays. Les Canadiens won last night, 1-0 over the Leafs on opening night. Pitch to Lyons. There's a ground ball to White. He's going to just go to Brett, and Lyons is running, but George is on the bag, and that will do it. So after 6, no runs, a hit. The White Sox have left on 5, and the Royals, that magic number should be going to 9. They're up 7-2. I thought you were, yeah. It is amazing to me as Bo steps into the plate. He is homered in his last 2 at-bats. He's 27 now on the season and driven in 66. How similar the stories are between the Montreal Expos and the Tampa Bay Rays. Pitch to Bo. Ball 4. So Bo doesn't get anything to look at. Never mind, that was a full count pitch. And he is on for Pacoda, who was 1 for 3. Bill has singled, driven in his 8th run, and struck out. That roof was supposed to handle 150-mile-an-hour winds. Okay. I think that was stronger than that. I mean, one of the reasons why that bay is protected is it doesn't necessarily take head-on hits. It's grazed by storms, but not necessarily one like that. It was going to be used for a shelter for the first responders. Thankfully, no one was hurt. And the drone shots from this morning were, it was Scotty who sent me the first picture. So when I woke up at 6:30 this morning, that was one of the first things I saw. Yep. Pitch to Pacoda. There's a fly ball right center. Johnson moving over and will make the catch, and Bo goes back. A sliding catch from Johnson. How about that? 1 out. Lance is going to be pretty good in a couple years. Here's Larry Owen. Larry is 2 for 3. This would be the game that Larry Owen would write about in Baseball Digest. My greatest game. He's 2 for 3. He has singled twice and driven in a run. Bo on first. Ground ball to Martinez. Lyons for 1. And Larry Owen is going to reach again. And somewhere in Milwaukee, Bob Uecker stands and applauds. Here's Gary Thurman. Gary is 0 for 4 with a K. You might as well give him his at-bats. They're up 7-2. Yet 10,000 cots, they were going to sleep them all there because that's where you had the biggest thing, and they would be dry. Again, Robert, I was surprised to see that roof was fabric. Pitch to Thurman. There's a ground ball to Lyons. He throws to first, and Thurman is retired. Stretch time 7-2, Royals. So McGee and Martinez and Johnson here in the 7th to face Saberhagen. A vinyl roof is what they had on the Trop. And again, I mean, I think the wind gusts from that part of the storm are over 115. It was still a Category 3 when it made landfall. And the fact that St. Pete got 16 inches of rain, which is where the Trop is. Pitch to Guillen. There's a ground ball to Pacoda. He waits patiently, throws to first. 1 out. Just needs a new roof. I wonder how hard that would be to manufacture. Carlos Martinez is 0 for 2. Considering that they're not really building any stadiums that are fixed roofs anymore. Although that's what the Bears are going to get when they finally replace Soldier Field. Pitch to Martinez. There's a ground ball to White. Frank throws it to first for the out. So 2 away for Lance Johnson, who's 1 for 3 with a K. That hit was a single. Saberhagen, 27 batters, 98 pitches, 6 2/3, 6 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. And 7 outs away from win number 22. Got him. 6 for Saberhagen. We're through 7. 1, 2, 3 go the Shy Sox. And after 7, it's 7-2 Kansas City. John says, unfortunately, the Rays only tested the durability of the roof for the wind damage every other year. Yep, the Phillies. Well, the power of grimace, you understand? I saw something that saw a picture because the Dodgers are in trouble against the Padres, that no National League team since they've gone to the first round bye, the team that has the bye hasn't advanced out of the LDS. Is that right? Kevin Seitzer is 1 for 4. He has doubled and scored. Davis starts his 3rd inning. Fly ball to left. Pasqua goes back, and that is off the wall. So Seitzer is into 2nd. Is he going to go to 3rd? Nope. Throw goes into 3rd. Seitzer is into 2nd standing. And that is the 12th hit for the Royals. Brings up George Brett, who's 2 for 4. He has singled twice. I agree with you on Mr. Met, midlife crisis. They'll be ripping out all the steak and shack or Shake Shacks at Citi Field and putting in McDonald's now. Since the new playoff set up in 22, no NL division champ has made it to the NLCS. Dodgers can if they beat the Padres. Brett, as we said, 2 for 4, has singled twice. Fisk and Davis have a word. Fly ball, right field. Gallagher comes in, makes the catch, and Seitzer goes back. That's a remarkable stat. And I kind of wonder, is there just too much of a break? The Mets have earned it, though. I mean, you can't say that they haven't. And so much for Action PC telling me that it would be the Phillies beating the Yankees in the World Series. Pat Tabler is 1 for 3. He has doubled. Ground ball to Lyons, and Steve just kind of can't get it. It hit off his glove. He should have left it alone, and that's his 24th error of the year, and his second at second, and the 4th error for the year for the White Sox. And if you can't tell, for the White Sox play, it is September 23rd on a year that you're going to lose 95 games. Here's Tarnable, who has walked twice, scored, and driven in a run. Got him! So the 1-2 curve got him. 2 out for White. Frank is 2 for 4, has doubled and driven in a run. The Mets and Tigers are quite the story. The Royals, too. Is it? The Tigers have a payroll of, what, $28 million? Maybe that's the magic number for the Marlins next year. Pitch to White. Runners on the corners. Gets away from Fisk. Seitzer does not score. But it's still a wild pitch because Tabler moved up to second. I'm a Habs fan. They could beat the Bruins all I want. So the Panthers get the win on opening night. That's true, Scotty. The White Sox would consider 95 losses a good year. So what do you guys think will happen to Grady Sizemore? Pitch to White. Runners on second and third. That hits the mound. Bounces to Lyons on a psycho play, and that'll take care of business. Well, that was like a pinball. They hit off the glove of Davis. Lyons had the wherewithal to track it through to first, and that'll do it. So they get around the Lions there, no runs and a hit. And after 7.5, it's Kansas City 7, Chicago 2. So Saberhagen will face Gallagher, Baines, and Fisk here. Dave is 0 for 3 with a K. Struck him out. That's 7 for Saberhagen. A 1-2 fastball below the belt. And that'll bring up Baines. Harold is 1 for 3. He has scored and struck out. Hockey season just ended. Now, for those of us who root for Montreal, it ended a while ago. Pitch to Baines. Got him! Saberhagen is stronger as the game goes on. A full count curveball got him looking. So 2 out for Fisk, who is 1 for 2. Pudge has singled, scored, claimed 5 times he was from New Hampshire, and drew a walk. 2 on, nobody out. Slow ground ball to Pacoda, who throws to Brett, and that will take care of business. We've played 8. No runs, no hits, no errors. Kansas City 7, Chicago 2. As the chat devolves into whatever devolves, where do the cards and dice players go? If not to heaven, they are doomed to replay the 24 White Sox season for an eternity over and over and over again. Bo has homered twice in this one. We will play, because the season is out for Digital Diamond with the Status Pro cards, a game between the 62 Mets and the 24 White Sox. And I got to say, I think the 62 Mets beat them handily. Pitch to Bo. Ground ball left side, and Bo has his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Or evening on a Friday. And so John Davis is going to be replaced by Barry Jones. Jones, also over from the Pirates, has no record. A 1.69 ERA. This is his 12th game. He's 25 years old. Fastball at 94. And a ground ball pitcher. Hasn't pitched in 5 days. In a 7-3 loss to the Twins, he went 2 innings, 30 pitches, and a lot of hit. He did give up 30 hits. In fact, in 16 innings, he's allowed 11 hits, 3 runs all earned. He's walked 8 and struck out 13. I'll not do it for a whole series, but I would do it for 1 game. Speaking of the playoffs, this new format, the trend is get hot like hockey or basketball. It's going to be detrimental when teams start crossing or coasting and giving time off like basketball. That was when I covered the Nats in 17. They'd won that division by Labor Day, and it's hard to keep players excited and involved. And the Cubs beat them in 5. And they rushed Bryce Harper back. Remember, Harper slipped in a game against San Francisco at home and missed the last 6 weeks of the season. Pacoda is 1 for 4, oh, by the way, with a runner on first, with an RBI and a strikeout. Andrew says in his Pacific Coast League research, he discovered the 1908 California League Oakland squad went 4-71. That's my word. Rosters aren't that deep because every team carries 12 or 13 pitchers. John goes on, you're going to see MLB expand the rosters since they really can't expand the playoffs or make it harder for the world. The other thing with the teams, and it's kind of hard to emulate on the tabletop, is that the road team won 3 of the 4 wild card series, didn't they? Pitched to Pacoda. There's a ground ball again over to Lions for 1, and Pacoda's going to reach. I suppose what they could do is just make it a best-of-1 affair. But Larry Owen is 2 for 4. He has singled twice and driven in a run. It is a tournament. It isn't necessarily a playoff, is what they're talking about. But again, when you know you have a playoff spot picked out, how do you stay motivated the last 2 weeks of the season? Pacoda on. Owen strikes out. An 0-2 fastball chase, and here's Thurman. Gary 0 for 5 with a strikeout. And trust me, nobody is more surprised than Gary Thurman that he has stayed in this whole game. RJL suggesting a 30-man roster, 15 batters and 15 pitchers. Got him. So we'll give Saberhagen at least a chance to get the CG. Talk about pitching old school style through 118 pitches. He's gone 8. It'll be Pasqua, Diaz, and Lyons here in the 9th. Dan is 1 for 3. He has singled, struck out, and driven in a run. I like that's not one and done. But you just kind of have to wonder about, if you look at the Mets, they win on the road. They go in, they're a fresh team, their momentum is on their side, and then they take care of the Phillies. Now, I suppose if you want to take a week off the season, that you can make the LDS's best of 7 affairs to make up for that, but, no one's ever going to be completely happy. Struck him out. That's 9 for Saberhagen, oh, by the way. 1-2 curve right down Broadway, and here's Mike Diaz. He's 1 for 3, a single, an RBI, and a strikeout. Saberhagen will wait a second as Darrell Boston will pinch hit. Yep, 15 or 16 batters was normal with a 9 or 10-man staff. Boston is a pinch hitter, hitting .067 with 2 RBI. Overall, .235, 16 homers, and 52 RBI. Yeah, I think that if you win the division, you should get a bye. I'll agree with that. Popped up. Center field. Thurman. 2 out. Oh, by the way, last chance saloon. And the White Sox need 5 to tie and 6 to make me pull my 3 hairs out left. And Steve Lyons is the last man standing between Brett Saberhagen and win number 22. Steve is 0 for 3. Got him! And that'll do it. So Saberhagen, he just got stronger and stronger and stronger as we went along. How you doing, Kurt? He strikes out 10. The Royals win the ball game 7-2, 3 hours and 28 fake minutes. And Saberhagen is going to be your digital dice player of the game. 7 runs, 13 hits, no errors for Kansas City. The White Sox, 2 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors. The Royals left on 12. but you can do that when you score 7, and the White Sox just left on 5. Saberhagen goes to 22-5. No, I did 22 innings the other day, Andrew. 22-5, 9 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk, and 10 strikeouts. Jerry Royce falls to 10-12, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 2 homers, a walk, and a strikeout. And then Davis pitched well out of the pen, 3 2/3 of scoreless baseball, and it dropped his ERA to 7.30. Not kidding. 4 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, and Jones pitched the 9th, striking out 2. So for the moment, it is a 1-game lead for the Royals. And let's play this Friday night in baseball. All right, Cleveland beats Toronto 5-2. That's a big win for the Red Sox. Swindell 17-11. Jimmy Key goes to 6-8, and that may be the Achilles heel for Toronto, is that Jimmy Key isn't pitching all that well. Joe Carter, who will touch them all for Toronto in a few years, hits 2, goes 2 for 5, and drives in 3. Expos beat the Phils 4-2. Joe Hesketh goes to 2-6. Poor Kevin Gross. He throws a 2-hitter, strikes out 10, and Bedrosian can't hold on. Burke picks up his 30th save. Tigers stay alive in 11. They beat the Orioles 4-3. Willie Hernandez goes to 4-0. Doug Sisk is 4-7. Alan Trammell 2 for 5, hits a 16th, and drives in 3. Reds beat the Braves in 10 2-1. Ron Robinson goes to 5-3. Joe Baver 1-1, and John Franco picks up his 28th save. The Cubs commit 4 errors. Doug Drabeck throws a 4-hit shutout, and Big Scraig Maddox 2-0. Drabeck 15-8. Mark Grace 1 for 4 with a triple, and Maddox falls to 13-13. The Red Sox lead over Toronto's a 1.5. Bruce Hurst wins 7-2 over Charlie Hudson, who goes to 6-4, and Bob Stanley picks up the save. Goodness gracious me. Texas beats Seattle 3-2. Charlie Huff is 13-15. Mr. Moore is 16-11. Davis 1 for 3, his 16th with a walk. Oakland stays alive. They pound out 16 hits. They beat Milwaukee 10-3. Kurt Young 11-7. Juan Nieves falls to 6-4. Dave Henderson 2 for 5 and a double. St. Louis steals 5, 17 hits. Doesn't matter. They beat the Mets and Dwight Gooden 12-2. Joe McGrain goes to 12-7. Gooden falls to 18-9. Willie McGee steals 3 bases. He goes 3 for 4. California gives the Royals a 1.5 lead. They beat the Twins 11-6. Jack Lazorko goes to 2-2. Dan Schatzeder takes the loss. Howell 4-5. Hits his 15th for 3 RBI. Los Angeles beats San Francisco 4-2. Hershiser finally gets a win. He's 17-10. Scott Garrelt's 8-12. Candy Maldonado, a home run, his 13th, and drives in 2. And last but not least, San Diego keeps their faint hopes alive. They beat Houston 5-2. Andy Hawkins 11-12. Mike Scott 12-12. And Robbie Alomar 2 steals. So the Reds lead is 5. The Royals lead is a 1.5. And the Red Sox lead is a 1.5. All right. We have the Red Sox and Yankees penciled in. No one can clinch. I think it's just going to be a single game on Monday. What are our magic numbers? 4, 8, and 8. So just a single game Monday. So if we do a doubleheader, it would be Thursday. So it'll be the Red Sox and the Yankees when we get back together on Monday. Please stay safe and all that. Yeah, Mets and Reds. And Robert, you're going to love the fact that Buddy Harrelson will throw out the first pitch in all 3 games in New York. All right, Digital Dice, we hope to tape tomorrow. Hopefully someone will hear from ID and know that he is okay. So, thank you so much for watching. It'll be the Red Sox and the Yankees come Monday. And then we'll just kind of go from there. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next week. So long, everybody.